Why has it been so long since the last blight?
Archdemons don't awaken on their own, you know. It takes the Darkspawn, tunneling and tunneling, searching for centuries to find one. And with no one to lead them, it must be sheer chance, or maybe instinct, which leads them. What's surprising isn't that it takes so long between blights. What's surprising is that they succeed at all. But I imagine the old gods call to them. And it's that voice in the darkness which drives them through so many generations.
That's all the questions I had for now. Thank you.
The important thing to remember is, none of that matters. When you're facing Darkspawn, all you need to know is to stop them at all costs.
So what are your plans now, Riordan?
When I'm well enough, I'm going to continue my journey toward Ostagar. Hopefully I'll be able to trace the heart of the Blight and where the Archdemon itself abides. If we want to defeat this Archdemon, we need to know where it is and how soon it might strike.
Did you know Duncan very well?
We went through our joining together, more years ago than I like to remember. He was exactly the same back then, tough as stone and just as grizzled. I think he understood sooner than the rest of us how ugly a choice it is to let the few be sacrificed to protect the many. Always left himself a soft spot for his recruits, though. Only where he ever let himself down.
Are these your papers, Riordan?
I wondered what Howe did with them. Yes, these are my records. Names of the dead I recognized at Ostagar. What was left of Duncan's recruitment records. Some encrypted copies of the joining ritual that I retrieved from our Denerim vault. Those, at least, ought to have stayed private.
What vault is this?
It's located just off the Market District in the northern alley past the Gnawed Noble Tavern. I'll sketch out the code which will let you pass the lock wheel. Inside you can take your pick of whatever equipment remains. It is the stockpile the Wardens have kept for centuries, for the defense of Denerim.
Alright, so Riordan has given us the access to the Warden Vault in Denerim, which is one of the places we will be going shortly. Alright, just out of curiosity, before we set out for the Market District again, let's see if there's anything interesting that Erlina or Nora have left to say.
My lady, she will be forever grateful, Warden.
Okay, just that one line for Erlina.
I have spoken with Alistair. Perhaps this mad betrothal won't be quite the curse it first seemed.
Hey, what do you know? She's getting slightly more upbeat about the idea. Hopefully Alistair feels at least somewhat the same. Alright, let's make our way out of here and over to the alienage, where there seems to be some trouble brewing. Alright, before we head into the alienage, there's a few things I want to do around the marketplace. The first is to check in on Wade and see if our armor is ready.
You're here about your order?
It's done. I made the armor. And it's garbage. I wouldn't let a festering swine wear it.
Wade, it's amazing. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Are you blind as well as stupid? The leg guards are too tight. It'll chafe. The dye isn't even... Look here. I see a splotch. It's garbage, I say.
It's fine. Truly. It's a work of art. Here, wear it well. Now kindly leave.
So, being a true artist, Wade is simply not satisfied with his work, but it's actually extremely good armor. Yeah, armor of 9 with fire resistance. Which makes sense, it's made from the scales of drakes. So, and it's leather armor, so actually I probably will end up giving it to Liliana because she's the ranking rogue in our party, and so she's the one that tends to wear leather armor. But we still have some drake scales left, so let's see if we can give them to Wade and have him take another crack at it.
Did you bring more scales? I want to try again. I've learned so much.
Wade, please leave the customer alone. How can I help you?
I do indeed have more drake scales.
You must be kidding. We're done. No.
Eren, more scales. I can make another set.
Dear Andraste, no.
I've been thinking every night about what I'd do different. It's all in my head. Dear Eren, don't worry. I can make it faster this time.
You can?
You worry too much. Just give me the scales, friend, and I'll have my finest work for you.
Here's 20 sovereigns for incentive. I want it perfect.
Perfect, you say? Well, there are a few alterations I could make. I'll close up the shop then. No more new orders. Think of the possibilities.
See, Wade is happy because he gets the chance to be inspired and work with even more drake scales, but Heron at this point is probably pissed because we're forcing Wade to work all day and all night on our stuff, and meanwhile none of the other orders that he has are getting finished. But I think, if I recall correctly, this should let us have some, I think, plate mail next. I can't remember if it's plate or chain, but it's definitely a heavier style of armor we'll get this time around. Now, the other thing I want to do, well, one of the other things I should say, is to head back to the Gnawed Noble Tavern. As you recall, back in Arlhau's dungeons, we encountered at least 2 or 3 people who were affiliated with the nobility here. So now's the time to let them know about their fate.
This should be easy enough.
And hopefully, we can gain some additional support against Loghain through this.
Whoever you are, Wait. I know you. My son described you in great detail. He tells me that I owe you his life.
Ah, so this must be the father of the noble we found strapped to the torture chamber. I would leave no man to suffer at Arlhau's hands.
When I saw my poor boy's legs, I only wish Howe still lived that I might tear him apart myself. I would bring troops against his son. But Oswin tells me Thomas had no part in his father's depravity. Is there anything you would ask as a reward for saving Oswin?
All I want is for you to speak out against Loghain.
Thank you again. Know that I will stand behind you at the Landsmeet with all the support I can muster. In fact, I am taking my supper today with Ban Reginalda of the White River Banorn. I'll speak with her about this at once.
Alright, that sounds good. And we have another noble to speak to here.
I'd hoped to see him while I... May I help you?
Now, if you recall that there was a Templar who was suffering from lyrium withdrawal, and he gave us a ring. I was asked to give this to you.
This is Ermenric's. Explain yourself. My brother would no more part with this ring than with his head.
You might ask Loghain.
Loghain? What does my brother have to do with him?
He's in the dungeon of the Arl of Denerim's estate.
A dungeon? What? No. I will go to him at once. Someone will answer for this. Take this with my thanks. It has been in my family since the War of Crowns, crafted for us by the Circle of Magi. An heirloom is a small thing compared to my brother's life.
Ooh, we got something from the Circle. Oh, Spirit Ward. Okay, for spirit resistance. Eh, not enough to swap out, but not bad. Okay, and now let's head over and find the warden's secret cache.